What's going on, everybody? My name is Matt with Fabrication, and today I want to bring you something special. All right, so let's jump into this. 3D printing is not new. It has been around for a few. So 3D printing is not new, but I wanted to make something I can't find easily. I wanted to make something that can help me as a fabricator, and I wanted to make something that I could also share with other people or have the same needs as I do. Okay, so as much as 3D printed parts are cheap plastic for the most part, that people just press a button and walk away. No offense, CNC machinists, but let's be real, it's buttons. It's the designs that are worth anything. Did I invent this design? Not really. I just made my own version the way that I wanted it. So what I made is jigs to duplicate and repeat X-pipe cuts and degree cuts in a single jig. That I couldn't find anywhere. Not that it's necessary, but it saves you some shelf space. The X-pipe's really the creme de la crop. But I wanted a dual purpose jig. And it just, I don't know, I put in the design time, let's say that. It took me sample after sample, one thing after another, test print after test print after test print. And yeah, they're just plastic. I get it. I've also put them out there on the internet with other fabricators. And I said, hey, I'm thinking about making this. What do you guys think? And they're like, well, it's just cheap plastic. The secret's out. Yeah, the secret's out. I didn't invent this shit. All right, so we got the 3 jigs. All of these jigs are meant to cut a 1D radius bend. I use Stainless Bros material. I love it. It is clean. It is perfect. They use a little bit more plastic than I think I need to, but whatever. But they fit. That's what the jigs are designed for. But if anybody who sells a 1D radius, it should fit just fine. Ideally, you don't want to have any tail. Sometimes you can get them with a little bit of straight. These were not designed for that. The straights could come out the top, but you can't have a straight on the other side. So no leg, 1D radius bend. Okay, so we talked about the why. I wanted something I could duplicate X-pipes. I couldn't find anything. So I made something. Okay, so there are other companies that make these. That's not a secret. But what I've experienced with some of those other companies is they're missing something. Maybe they're just not strong enough. I've had some where they just get hit with some metal and bam, they're done. Their sides caved in. They're just toasted. Other ones, I've had them melt. If I'm cutting something too long or too slow or this or that, they start to give. So when I set out to do this and me jumping into 3D printing, I really wanted to design something that would last. I wanted it to be strong. Now, yes, I sacrifice print time. I'm using a lot more filament. Now, I'm not printing these solid. That's ridiculous. But, and I'll show you in a second, they are pretty well filled. And they can take a beating, very big beating. This is only half a print. I ran out of filament on this one, and I decided just to keep it instead of just changing the filament, just to show you guys what's going on the inside. I don't know of anybody else that does that. I don't know, I've bought some from other companies. I don't know what filament they're using. I don't know how much infill they have, but I can tell you they're super light and I've broken them. Can you break mine? Of course you can, it's plastic. We work in a metal shop. We break metal. So of course you can break plastic, but you're less likely to break these ones over the competition. So jumping into what I'm using, I'm printing these out of ASA, which for a fairly standard, non-fully industrial printer is, in my opinion, or in the internet's information that I'm able to gather, is one of the better materials, especially for the automotive world, that can handle UV, that can handle higher heats. It's kind of a bitch to print, I'm not gonna lie. I had to go through all of these tests and all of this stuff just to get it to do what I wanted it to do. All right, so here is one of the prints that I stopped halfway through, or actually I ran out of filament. So this is the infill. It is stronger than all hell. You could drive a car on this, it isn't gonna matter. You could hit it with some metal. You might ding it or dent it, but it is gonna hold up. Okay, so in this first run, I'm offering 3 jigs. I'm offering a 2.5, 2.75, and a 3-inch. Now, with these jigs, you can cut X pipes, degree cuts, X pipes, degree cuts, X pipes, degree cuts. Now let's show this. So here is the 2.5 jig. Now these are a little dirty because I have been using them. We have 15-degree intervals. You know, 75, 60, 45, 30, 15. You have a beam here with a beam holder. So when you want to cut an X pipe, it is in this position. We also have it marked up, if I could focus, this side up. That'll always be true no matter what you're doing. So you put it in the bandsaw like this, and I'll show that here in a second. And that is how you get your X pipe. All right, so we have our 1D 2.5-inch radius here. All right, we're gonna open up the jig a little bit, and this can just slide right in there. And once you clamp it up, there you go. Your blade is gonna pass right along here. I did design these so that your blade will be 1/8 away from the jig. So what we do when we're setting up our bandsaw is we take a little shim that's 1/8 of an inch, and we just make sure the blade's 1/8 away from there, and that's how we get our duplicated cuts every time. I know some companies, they tell you to run it right across. That's their design, that's their problem, but I wouldn't prefer to wreck the jig. We want it to last. Now, how do you get a degree cut? How does the jig work? So the jig works like this. Here's your jig in one whole piece. You are gonna take off, and this is important, take out your beam, your support beam. It is labeled as such. You will take that out. You can separate these, it makes it a little easier. And then you take the bottom section off. You set this aside. So there's part one. Take the bottom off the other one. Those two just hang out. And then making sure that it says this side up, this is your new jig. So if we want to make a 45-degree cut, we are going to put our beam in here at 45 degrees. We'll put that in there like that. Can open this up slightly, put this guy in there, and bam. Now again, same as the X pipe, we hold it 1/8 away from the jig. So 1/8 of an inch away from this jig, that will be your 45-degree cut. That's how it's designed for. Now, an important thing here is when you put these in your clamp, they can slightly move. No jig is gonna be 100% perfect. You know, you can accidentally twist these. So it's best to always make sure it is sitting in there flush. You know, check it 10 times, cut it once. I think someone told me that once. Also, not every bandsaw is exactly the same. Depending on where your clamp lines up, it might be easier or harder for you to see one thing or another. I can't guarantee your blade is exactly straight as it should be. The idea with bandsaws is that they hold pretty straight, but bearings get worn out, things get moved. But a 45-degree cut is fully possible. Any degree cut, I should say, any of these degrees is easily obtainable. But it does take the person doing it to make it perfect. So again, you do that cut, you should end up with 2 45s, good to go. The next thing I want to mention is the center line that the X pipe ends at. So if you put a 45 on each side, so 4 45s on an X pipe, where is it going to end? That's kind of the biggest question on a lot of these. Now I use 1D radius most of the time for my X pipes because they save you so much space. Now one more thing I wanted to mention, I wanted to just express my OCD to everybody else. If I make more of these jigs, which I am almost done designing the 1.5 radius, and maybe I'll make a short just showing them or something, but I'm gonna keep everything color coded. So all the 3-inch are gonna be red, all the 2.75 are gonna be this dark blue, and all the 2.5s are gonna be this teal color. Weirdly enough, they call this green, but it is obviously not green. I'm also gonna have some regular 3D printed jigs for cutting straight pipe. I'm not gonna really color code those. I think I'm just gonna use whatever I have. But keep a lookout for those. I'm not even sure if I wanna print them out of ASA, but maybe I will, just because if I'm gonna do it, I might as well do them all the same. All right, if you made it to the end of the video, I appreciate it, and thank you for watching. As of right now, you can find these on our website. You can buy them just the one you want, or you can buy the whole set for a discount. We are gonna have a sale for about a month for the first launch. So get them while they're on sale, especially if you don't like the higher price like most people don't. And we'll send them out as we make them. Thank you much. Have a good one, everybody.
We'll be right back.